Hi chat, how we doing tonight? I'm obviously well prepared for tonight's stream. Much better than last stream though. How we all doing tonight, folks? Welcome, welcome. Chicken pot pie night, chat. Welcome in, Will Poker. Welcome in, Cosmic. Happy Sunday, everyone. Ooh. Thank you, Will. What is going on here, Alerts? Are you not properly connected to... Thank you very much, Will. I am confused why my alerts did not go off for that. Greatly appreciate your resubscription. Haven't been drinking as much coffee lately. bit windy outside. I don't know if I was talking on stream about this or if I was reading about this. I've known about this for a little bit, but there's certain trees that squirrels will normally pick up their nuts that they've developed an actual system of overgrowing nuts every so many years so that they overpower the animals from eating all of them. I'm relatively certain this tree right over here is in that year because there are nuts everywhere. And the wind is just causing more of them to rain down and, ping pong off of my truck and off the house. But thank you very much for joining in, everyone. Appreciate it. Cheers. So where do we start with chicken? I think we start with butchering our chicken. I have a whole chicken to cut up for tonight's dinner, but I'm not planning on using the whole chicken. Knife or the microphone hitting my shirt was bothering me. Hopefully get that fixed so it's not going to ruffle as much. Well, why, thank you. Welcome in lack of a username. Throwing the wings in with my carcass here. exhaust skin. This skin is attached tonight to this bird. This bird very much enjoyed its skin. And this should probably be enough meat for tonight, so we're going to save these for some other project. They don't really look it, but my cleans are all my floors are all nice and clean after giving them a mop up yesterday. I'm still wearing my around the house shoes though. I'm already getting to the point where I'm like, I just start stocking up on bones again for more chicken stock. I've been burning through this batch of chicken stock pretty quick. I'd say I'm more than halfway through already. Been doing a lot of soups this summer though too. Chicken breasts in the fridge, bones in the freezer. I also ditched the, for any of those repeat viewers that are interested in this sort of info, I did ditch the oil after the steaks. It had gone through, that oil had been through a lot at that point, and so that has gone to the goodbye jug. And part of my Costco spending included getting a jug of oil for frying in the future here, so I'm well stocked on frying oil. Still looking for a cheap olive oil sale, I think. Or maybe I restocked on olive oil. I don't know. Olive oil has gone up so much in price lately. Like, I don't expect, even though I expect there to be sales on olive oil, I expect the sale to still seem expensive. And this we're just dicing up for. got all the tendons still in the legs. I didn't pull them out or anything like that. Apparently you can use a pair of like fish tweezers and just yank them out, but I have yet to try doing that. I've tried other ways of getting rid of the tendons, and none of them really work great. I think the best option is really to just use enough chicken that you can separate the chicken legs from everything else and use them for dishes where you don't worry about the tendons. Which, this is one of those where we can cook this chicken much longer to break all of that down easily. Make sure I don't got any bones there. Bone chips or anything. My super sharp knife. Let's get our other veggies ready too. So we're going to pull this off to the side, put this over by the stove. I'm going to clean up the knife in my hands so that we're not spreading chicken germs. Boy, Taylor Farms and McDonald's seem to be going at it for this one. Like, normally, like, recalls and illnesses and stuff like that don't get as much notice. And I'm sure Taylor does this, like, they do all sorts of lettuce. They do all sorts of stuff. No relation, by the way. And in all sorts of industries as far as food is concerned, whether it's a hotel, hospitality, supplying the supermarkets, supplying restaurants. They for lettuce and stuff, those like fresh products, they're across the board a pretty major name. And so this is sort of like, okay, we got some bum onions to them. And McDonald's is like in the fight of their life right now with everyone else because fast food is just struggling right now. Like, everyone's got the food specials in fast food right now. Ooh, do we go red or yellow onion tonight, chat? I'll do carrots and celery while we'll chat decides on that. I'm letting all the air out of my fridge. It's okay, it's the freezer that really matters. And this thing is so old at this point. For refrigerators, like, without getting new seals, making sure everything hasn't vibrated itself to death, they lose their potency quick. Or efficiency. It's why you can always claim better, like, they're like more efficient than last year's. Well, yeah, the last year's ones are a year old now. The store I bought this from sprays down their produce so much. I mean, I understand it for the weighed items, like paying for water is gold for a supermarket, so like but still, like there's a limit. Oops. Get back here, music. Hi, Nan Reader. So I haven't heard anyone in chat pipe up if I should be doing red or yellow onions. I'm thinking I'm gonna do thinking I'm gonna do red unless someone pipes up and says, I prefer a milder, yellower onion. I don't know why, but what I was saying got me thinking about the word robust, which then in turn got me thinking about the John Wick, the Samuel scene. Which is all sorts of weird from the food perspective, too. Like, the dude's got a legit neck piece on him. And if you haven't seen John Wick, which I don't think I've seen John Wick all the way through, any of them, but you can see the clips online. It's a crazy world we live in these days, where, you know, you don't own video games and you can't pass them on to your kids. You don't own your music anymore. I don't think they even want you to own the PC hardware anymore. Service is a service. Fan on. Bit of cooking oil in the pan. And I'm just warming that up for the moment because we got some onion to cut still. Guess we're going on red onion. Hi, chat. How you doing? So now we're really heating that pan up. Starting to get there. Oil's starting to move around a little bit. So starting with our chicken, which I'll have to season up here a bit. Add a touch of oil to the chicken itself. Salt. Pepper. And paprika. Just sort of mixing until it all gets that little light red hue from the paprika, which might not even come across on camera. Give my hands a rinse off here. Well, more than a rinse off. I'm liking the new captions. I think they're more accurate. I don't know, maybe I'm just reading them a bit more often now. The downside is it doesn't work on some of the other scenes. Like, I used to sort of chat during the loading screen, or the first 15 minutes between 4:15 and 4:30. And it doesn't work anymore in the scenes where I don't actually have a microphone attached. So you have to be able to hear me for the captions. So you used to be able to do it without you hearing me. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which spoon do I choose for you? Oh, hey, let's get our spoon rest out too. Okay, I guess this is a job for these tonight. ad break. Hi, subscribers. Hopefully you've had a lovely weekend. I had a rather uneventful one. I was sleepy. I guess I'm tweezer chef tonight. I had to pull out the tweezers to make sure all the chicken was flipped. Amendra. Now that sounds like a flour product. I'm sitting here thinking like they have all the like specialty flours are like some play off of like Wondra or Wonderful or can you tell which side of the pan is hotter? I didn't even get that much coding done. Like, I was like all hyped that, oh yeah, I'll have Thursday into Friday morning and be able to plug at it and make some actual progress. No. Nope. Last set of chicken going in the pan here. Cheers was a great TV show. It's a shame the bar closed down during COVID. I never made it to the bar. Never made it to Boston that I can think of either. I should I should probably make that, like, sometime. Like, I've done New York, but I'm about due for that return trip to New York, maybe DC, like, make a mega trip out of it. But then I couldn't stream. But Boston, Philadelphia, the DC museums, return to the old New York stomping grounds are all things that maybe should do at some point. I almost feel like I need to do this rather than I want to do that, though. If you get what I mean by that. I mean, it's been a decade or two for me to check if my watch was still within like a tenth of a second of being accurate. That's sort of like, I remember going there with my parents and us all sitting there. I think it was my parents. It had to have been my parents. And they had like a National Air and Space, scientific specific time, according to them. And we all checked our watches, and my mom and dad's were all wildly off, and mine was like exact. And it was before, it wasn't a smartwatch. It was well before smartwatches were a thing, much less cell phones, or at least, before cell phones too. Really, at least the everyday every person's cell phone, everyday person cell phone. Not millionaire in a limo cell phone. Follow me, camera. You stopped. You're supposed to keep following. Cameras. Are you going to misbehave tonight, cameras? It's pretty rare these days that an onion or a shallot or something will actually get my eyes, irritate my eyes. And I cut up a shallot last night, and my eyes were just stinging. I didn't even feel this onion, cutting this onion up. One of the medicines that I take I think it's one of the medicines that I take that's doing this, has been drying out my eyes quite a bit lately. And that may be part of the thing there. I usually go through most of the day fine with my eyes, but usually my eyes start getting tired. The whole long time watching a screen thing and stuff like that. I'm usually throwing eye drops in my eyes 8, 9 o'clock most nights. Chat, do you think the spaghetti's going to get here to me in time? It's looking like we're going to be doing MRE spaghetti and meatballs for Wednesday. We're doing spaghetti and meatballs on Monday, but on Wednesday I might be using spaghetti and meatballs as an ingredient. That just gave me the idea that maybe we can use leftovers for... Anyways. Which, I complained about it before, but I guess the idea of tearing into an MRE is interesting. I did notice, there's very obviously a market out there of people that are buying or somehow obtaining brand new MREs and then keeping them as their own security, I think, and then selling them after they're a year or two old, because they're guaranteed safe for something like 5 years or something like that. But if you look at the market, I looked at them on Amazon and I searched them on Google to find them. Basically, all of them are a couple years old, and then there's ones that don't even say how old they are, and those are the cheap ones. they also say they're not for sale. So, sort of question how they get them in the first place. I mean, granted, they're made by a company, so the company probably doesn't mind them getting in other people's hands. I should salt my onions, shouldn't I, chat? That's a good idea whenever you put veggies in the pan. You're supposed to salt them. I didn't do that. Helps with the cooking. Hi, Froggy. Welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Hey, Justice Fries. I guess those didn't... Cosmic, if you're hanging out here still, did Bacon versus Chocolate overlay show properly for you? Like, I know the alert didn't work for Will's subscription earlier. I really got to get this scripting done so that I can just move on, like, because old bot going through major updates and changes that I'm about, but are causing breaking things that I have to fix. Meanwhile, I'm trying to move on from that bot to another one, and I'm not ready to do it yet. And so that's where I'm at, chat. I'm sort of stuck between this one making changes that are starting to break things. Do I spend the time fixing the ones on bot that I'm trying to get rid of? Alright, we got most of the moisture we're going to cook out of those onions out. They're starting to turn, so we're going to start in with our other veg. Actually, we should do carrots first. They're going to cook a little longer. I couldn't find them. I had some... They were from last year, so... But I had some edible eyeballs, like the sugar, like nice... They were nice looking eyeballs as far as eyeballs are concerned. Usually they're really poorly made. These were actually had some decent detail for them for a candy. And I can't find them. I don't know what I did with them. I know I didn't go through them. And I was thinking they would be awesome for tonight's mummy. If only as a garnish. Like, I don't really want to eat candies with my chicken pot pie, but... The other one is I don't have olives in the house right now. Olives are great for making fake eyes. Yeah, that's something that I rather like. Like, I would be, yeah. I would be... Justice Fries. Yeah, that's a good thing that I don't have trick-or-treaters coming to my door and I'm not buying candy for them, because I have a feeling that I'd probably buy way more candy than I need and it would disappear. So did it look back at you, Justice? Did it wink? I have a feeling you typed that in before I said it. Yeah, I'm definitely more than halfway through that batch of chicken stock at this point. Melting chicken stock on the other side. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago, Froggy. Like I said, it's normally chicken stock will last me like 3 to 6 months. And I think this one's got about a month into it, and I would say I'm closer to 2/3 through it rather than over half. Hey, Sailor. Making some chicken pot pie. Ah. Did I not get rid of all the bag? I guess I didn't get rid of all the bag there. Oh well, just more microplastics. I guess I forgot to put the next couple weeks in the calendar for Mondays. I went to look. I was setting up the stream for today, and I went and looked at the calendar. Like, what did I exactly do for a definition for tonight's stream? And didn't have one. Sentient Scramble thinks I'm still talking about Costco. Uh-oh, chat. If this Scramble is already sentient, what does that make the new one that I'm making? It'll be able to describe the words that it's asking you to spell. I'm going against all of my culinary instructors' thoughts when it comes to this type of a dish. I'm way overcooking my mirepoix compared to what any of them. They would, you know, it's supposed to have that inner ear crunch. It's still supposed to be, you know, semi-solid still. It realized I was talking about it. Basically everything at the CIA, basically everything was about inner ear crunch. Like, if you're blanching veggies, if you're cooking something, if it's a vegetable, they want it to have, they don't want it to be raw, but they want it to have enough, as much texture that you can, like, hear it in your own ear, like that, like, and yeah. I'm just gonna cook all of these down. I would add mushrooms too. I used to do more mushrooms. I haven't been doing as many mushrooms the last couple of years. So you got some butter in here with all these veggies now. Still working on melting down chicken stock on the other side of the stove here. I'm very picky about my mushrooms, and most of the mushrooms I like are not the mushrooms that are most available. Like, I really don't like portobellos. I think they're way overused. I also don't like buttons. But I do like creminis. I guess maybe if I had some decently grown buttons, but like the mass-produced ones are junk. Alright, so we're hitting this with some flour now to make our sort of roux. There's a proper French term for this that I'm forgetting. Creminis are portobellos. Creminis are portobellos, but like quite seriously 3 hours earlier. 3-4 hours earlier. They grow that quickly once they pop out of the ground. Thank you, Gillian. And I still stand by my statement that I like creminis, but don't like portobellos. I think oysters are the best of the most easily and readily available mushrooms. Like, I think of those four as the main four that you see in most supermarkets. Portobellos, creminis, buttons, and oysters. Morels you'll typically see if you're in a nice store in the right time of year. Adding our stock in here. Gotta type exclamation mark scramble first, Gillian. But I think that's right. Bay leaf going in. Dried thyme. oregano. And garlic. Froggy. The other reason my eyes might be drying out, I was talking about my eyes drying out earlier. The other reason my eyes might be drying out is because I've gotten LASIK. I got LASIK like 5 years ago. 7 years ago. Damn, I'm getting old. Add in our chicken once again. Oops, sorry, I didn't think about the microphones with that. Oops. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better, but yeah, these peas they're no longer IQF. We have Frankenstein peas. Flame is off on that. We gotta bake it still, too. Now the question is, do I do it in... What do I store this in for turning it into a mummy? Got a couple options with pot pies with glass. Actually, this might be our winner for tonight. It's been a while since I've used this. Long enough that I'm going to give it a rinse off and quick clean on the inside. So I think this is going to be our dish for tonight. opening up a container of puff pastry here. Of course, why did he do that? Like, well, I understand it's cheaper, and packaging is a major expense in packaged goods. It always irritates me when they put, like, multiple items in a frozen thing and it's, like, in a single bag. Like, we're going to give you 4 pieces of puff pastry and put in, or in this case, we're going to give you 2 whole rounds of puff pastry and then give them to you in a single bag. Good luck with freezer burn. There's at least enough bag here that if I'm careful with cutting it, I can probably seal it pretty well. Let's see if they even... Ooh, they are parchment on both sides. I was debating whether or not should I have added cream into this, chat. I think this looks delicious all by itself without being creamy. It wouldn't be heavy cream anyways, it would be half and half. Plugra. Isn't that one of those alternative butter things? What am I going to use to cut this? I don't think I want to use that though. That doesn't roll on that. I'm trying to see if I got like a wavy edge cutter or something that I can use for this puff pastry. Like, I've got some wavy edges and stuff like that, but they're not really like rollers. And then I've got... Oh, there we go. There's one that I can use. And give that a clean up, but that'll give us a wavy edge. I was considering using, I've got another one that's for like making raviolis or pastas, that it both crimps and like presses and seals the side, but I don't really want that for puff pastry. No, I haven't posted anything on Threads for quite a while. I was posting things on there. It had a little bit of a boom when it came out, and I joined in right when it came out, and I slowed down and then basically stopped. But I haven't been doing a lot of posting like that lately. Like 3 months ago, I would say I was posting everywhere. Like, I take my nightly photos, and like 3 months ago I was posting them on Reddit, on Threads, on the Discords, on like all the Discords I could find. And I've just I go in waves with that, where I have the interest in bothering, I guess. But I'm on Threads, I'm on Blue Sky. Blue Sky's having a little bit of a moment right now too. But and I technically have an X account, but I don't use Twitter anymore. I haven't used Twitter in quite a while. You're welcome to follow me if you're interested in the photos, but they're going to be probably less of the photos that you get in the Discord. Blue Sky, I felt like Blue Sky is nice. I don't love that it's not great for sharing media. Maybe it's getting better. It's been a minute since I've done anything with Blue Sky too, but they were not, like, it was sort of weird. Like, it was using completely different standards or something for the way it was uploading photos and stuff, and so it was not as easy and did not upload as many things as others. And it's not like I'm, like posting random memes or something like that there. That's all in Discord. But yeah. Okay, so videos and hashtags work now too. That's awesome. Maybe have to give Blue Sky another look at. I probably should post more on Reddit than I do. Like, there's all sorts of food porn channels on Reddit. If you're looking for photos, there's all sorts of that on. I just never, because so many of them have, like, I never know whether I should be like, okay, I'm posting this as a streamer. Do I post this as a professional? Do I post this as made in the home kitchen? Which it is. Is it, like, and then you have to deal with the moderators, which is like, same thing. Like, what their definition and what your definition is probably not the same. I'm gonna flip this over, since the counter's probably doing a fair amount of the extraction of the heat on our puff pastry. our oven coming to 400? To temp for 400 for our puff pastry. And this most certainly needed salt. I'm adding some MSG and pepper too. Yeah, that's yummy. That'll do nicely. I'm gonna pop that bay leaf out of here. And bring this over here. I think I'm going to cut that right on the paper. Welcome, Alex. No puppies here. I like dogs, but my body doesn't. They make me sneeze. Make my eyes water. I'm going to start from the center here. Nah, I'm not making puff pastry from scratch tonight. I've done blitz puff pastries in the past, but not tonight. Now the question is, how thick do we want to make this? This is puff pastry, so this is going to puff in and fill some of the cracks. However, we also need some decent structure holding some of these together. Yeah, I think that's about where I'm going to stay. What do you think, chat? I'm almost sort of picturing a mouth and some eyes here. blue cheese may melt down and disappear. But I thought I'd give it a shot. And grated Parmesan. Pan and parchment, just to catch any drips as this bakes. I don't think it's going to overflow, but possibilities. I'll throw this on a tray and in the oven just like that, chap. What to do with the leftover puff pastry. Little sugar. A little cinnamon. Kicking myself now that this is what I should have done for the eyes. Like that would have been perfect. Why are you rolling these up individually, silly? Hi, T. So we got 16 minutes on the timer for that. I'm gonna probably give it a couple more minutes than that. Do a little cleanup while we're waiting on the stove to cook. Oh, that's something I have to add now. Oh. I wish the description there was a bit larger in the text. Anyone do anything exciting this weekend? Try something new? Go somewhere interesting? Anyone on vacation? While I'm scrubbing away. Anyone try anything interesting to eat lately? Hopefully no one's gotten sick at McDonald's. Anyone reminiscing sad over the fact that Denny's is closing 150 locations? White Lotus. I'm not familiar with White Lotus. Let me know. There's so many shows out there now. Like, is this even, like, I can't even keep track of the modern ones, much less like the whole last. I'm just old. I can't keep track of the last like decade of TV. Yes, voting's important. Vote, everyone. I have my own opinions, and I express them in the Discord, sometimes on stream. But I don't really care who or what you vote for. I care that you vote. I have my opinions. I respect that you have your own as well. Or at least I try to. HBO series wins awards. What's the like general gist? Like, don't give it away for anyone in chat that may not know or is interested in looking it up. Are we sci-fi, thrillers? Is it cop thing? Is it gang thing? Prison thing? Family sitcom? Cartoon? White Lotus Resort. Okay. There seems to be a revival of mystery. Like, I think the whole, Knives Out Daniel Craig thing with 101 other stars thing has somewhat helped the revival of the mystery lately. Maybe that's just my perspective, maybe. I'm obviously not Mr. Movie. Murder on Orient Express, yeah. I think they're always looking for those sort of things these days where they can get a gazillion names in there to just sort of keep people in the general knowledge, Because a lot of actors, they'll go years, unless you're an A-star that's getting like a major thing handed to you just about every year. Even they, it's not every year, it's every couple of years. And things like that are probably great for, okay, I don't have a project for a year and a half, 2 years. This is still going to keep my marketing up there. But I also like a lot of those films at the same time, too, because they're usually fun. I mean, I don't think many of them are really... Like, you had a pretty decent plot line there, but it wasn't... Like... They were having fun. You look at the Ocean 11's movies, and a bunch of actors having fun, it looks like. I think that plays through into the movies, too. I think, like, you don't always want that for a movie, but I think a lot of the times, if you're trying to have a nice, uplifting, if you're doing a comedy, if you're doing anything along that sort of a line, it helps that, it sort of shows through You know, it's the follow through of acting. You know, having fun on the set, I think, shows when it comes to the movie. Even going back to things like Animal House and old comedies and stuff like that, you hear about what the nonsense that was going on, the stuff that went on during what's the golf movie with Bill Murray? Like, you hear the stories about what went on behind the scenes. It was just like a party. Yeah, Caddyshack. Period drummers, you want to hear is suffering. Yeah, some of it is like, and there's some actors that are just like, you did what for that? The method actors can be a bit, whoa. The problem with Caddyshack, though, is so rarely is it in its like full form anymore. Usually it's something that's been cut up from, you know, TV or something like that. But hearing about actors suffering, you're making me think of American Psycho. And what's his name that was from American Psycho that, you know, he just like, there's a couple of actors that are like that, just massively change their body's roles. Yeah, Christian Bale, trying to think of the other one that recently was like, wow. Dude that played Encino Man in his most recent film where he put on so much weight to be in that scene, in that. I say Encino Man and everyone's probably thinking Pauly Shore. That is, if anyone in chat remembers Encino. Like, it's not a very memorable movie either. I think that one's more. Brandon Fraser. Yes, thank you. Brandon, I'm pretty sure. I didn't see it. I didn't see Vice either, but I think Vice might be a little bit more up my alley. most things that Christian Bale have done have been quality products. I don't know. Is there... I'm not thinking of any, like, absolute flops that he was involved in. Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I don't know that they could make it fly. I don't think it can make it through Hollywood if you took the shooting scene seriously. Like, it has to be... There'd be too much of a protest, I think. I'm not smelling any burnt butter yet, so I think we're okay. I'm gonna give it that full 2 minutes, though. That could be too froggy. But he's also sort of in this class of actor, like, he's... When you get to this point where so many people involved with you, two parts to this. One, you get so many involved and you have to, like, create, like, barriers between everyone and yourself. Like, you look at, like, people don't even necessarily know where Tom Cruise lives. Like, they assume there's some places in England that he lives. But there's also the whole... I don't know if you get to that point being an actor without, one, having a few character flaws of your own. Like, you gotta be a little off in order to be able to cover a wide range of personalities and stuff like that. And to be that, and I also think they're to be that exacting, or that they're that controlling, they're that it has to be this way or it's not going to work. Which probably rubs a lot of people wrong. On a personal basis. Yeah, Alex, yeah. Of course, that also sort of works into, from an outside perspective, yes, absolutely. But then you start, I've got a crew of 12 that I'm feeding off of this. Which, there's truth and not truth to that, you know? Okay, let's see what we got, chat. Didn't poof very much. I think I'm going to give that a little bit longer. But I'm going to pull the little snails off. to little sort of sweet cookies. They're pretty dry, even though I added all the sugar and cinnamon onto them. I've made these in the past. I haven't tried one of these particularly, but typically they're more like, this is awesome for throwing with my coffee or something. You got a slight sweetness to them, but it's mostly just the pastry. If you wanted to make them, if you wanted to make them, yeah, frosting. But I was thinking actually glazing them with fruit jelly of some sort, or I don't know how much longer I want to give that, but I did want to give that pot pie a couple more minutes. That, like, the issue we're having here is the pot pie, the liquid, and the puff pastry got to be friends a little too quick. The puff pastry needed to puff up before it made friends with the stew. But this dough is not impressing me, by the way, chat. Like, the puff that we got off of these, much less the ones on the puff pastry, the rise on this is not impressive for a commercial product. Like, that's the biggest rise we got out of something that's maybe doubled. Puff pastry, I need more. I've been sort of rooting around different brands of puff pastry. There's one that I found that I like, but would have been sort of small for the project tonight, and I don't know if the store is still carrying it either. I went with this one because it was an actual butter puff pastry. Fair number of the ones in supermarkets, pre-made ones, aren't butter anymore, even though you still sort of want. Like, the whole premise is you're using the liquid, the water in the butter to boil and create steam and create pockets. So swapping that out for oil sort of negates some of the traditional way that this works. Pretty decent flavor to the flour and actual pastry, though. That's important too. I mean, you can have it puff up and look amazing and taste horrible. Actually, that tastes really good for a puff pastry. That's very, flavor-wise, that's great. I don't know if I've ever had lobster Newburgh. That is correct. It's lobster Newburgh, right? I'm not getting that wrong. I think I'm going with it because it's starting to overflow a bit more. Starting to soak our wrappings. This is hopefully going to settle and it'll show through a little bit better here as it cools. I'm showing it to you upside down, chat. That's the mouth. Let's just do what I originally planned to do here. I'm sort of happy about that. I came up with an idea during stream today, and we're going to have a command now that I can enter a timer in, and it's just going to show up with the timer now rather than me fussing around with scenes in OBS for 2 minutes. Let's take a photo of this while we're chilling. Or resting, I guess. Maybe a little bit more Dark Knight Scarecrow than Mummy. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Smell has been amazing in here since making the initial stew, yes. Get a photo with the pumpkin in there too. Sort of a throwback to last year when I had pumpkin photos with everything. had a really sort of creepy looking stem on it last year that Are you saying that word should be embargoed? Arg. Froggy. So I think this is one of these cases where this is looking nowhere near as nice as it's going to be tasting. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, chat. Maybe you think it looks gorgeous. I think that sauce looks amazing. I know it tastes amazing because I tried it before I put the pastry on it. I think the puff pastry is actually going to do okay. It might be a little bit more crackery-like because I cooked it longer because it wasn't puffing for me. But that is just fabulous. Delicious, chat. But I do think that brings tonight's stream to a wrap. Alright, folks. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to read out tonight. Greatly appreciate you hanging out with me. Gonna be back here tomorrow night. We're going to be making spaghetti and meatballs, but we're going to make it look like a spider's nest with a whole bunch of meatball spiders. Going to be using olives to turn the meatballs into little spiders crawling all over our spaghetti web nest. So I hope you come back to join me for that. Thank you for hanging out. Good night.